look, you're about to enter a new year, new life opportunity, right? It's a kind of a reset, a refresh, if you will. And maybe the first thing we have to refresh is the pattern of our focus. Because I always tell people, we don't experience life. We experience the life we focus on.
Yes.
If you focus on what's difficult or terrible in your life feels terrible. A moment later, you focus on something beautiful in your life, and your life is beautiful. So having that pattern, and one pattern we teach, as you know, is priming, like having a daily practice that puts you in that place. But that, most of you know it. If you're not familiar with priming, you can go to TonyRobbins.com/priming, and we have a video there. It's a 10-minute process you can do every day. It literally wires your brain to find the good in things, not some positive thinking BS, but literally changes your biochemistry. But one thing we started doing recently, you want to share with like the 60 seconds of grace, just a quick reset?
Yes, well, I love this practice. I call it 60 seconds of grace. And at any point in the time of the day, or you can time it, on every hour, but it doesn't have to be. You can just pause, close your eyes, and tune into your own breath. Tune into the moment and fill up. Tune into our nature, tune into the sensations, and tune into life. And on the other side of these 60 seconds, open your eyes. What do you notice? And it's amazing when we tune into our own breath and connect to feel present with life. It's so beautiful. And so I look forward to hearing from you what you notice, because it only through noticing in our awareness, it makes life that much more beautiful.
And you can just stop even to like, what's one thing you're grateful for, two things you're
Yes.
grateful for 60 seconds. And the focus on gratitude, like where you don't just think about it over there, like you're going to a moment you feel grateful for, like we do in priming, like later on in the day for a minute, kind of reset your biochemistry. Now, we also do this on a yearly basis, and this is one of the things we want to invite you to do. Every year, we want to capture the magic of that year, the lessons of that year, the accomplishments, the magic moments. So we encourage you to gather with each other within your family, your chosen family. We have some chosen family we come together with, and Mary and some of you know Billy, our trainer, and we all come together. We bring our pictures from the year because we travel and live life together. And then we go through each month, and most people's phones and computers now do this for you.
Yes.
And we pick our very best ones, and we build a slideshow out of it. We play great music, but then we sit and we write for that month, what were the accomplishments? And also, secondly, what were the magic moments? Some examples is like, our daughter the other day was coming up to us, and she turns to me and she says, Daddy, I'm really looking forward to having a baby. She's 3.5. It's like, and she's telling me about this. She told me in detail. So I wrote down all the moments of what was on her face and how it felt and what it was. You want to give some examples of some magic moments?
Oh my gosh, just so many. Breaking bread together, laughing.
Laughter,
just laughter. Listened to my mama's sweet voice last night, and my dad in the background, they were teasing and laughing. Like, it's all the beauty that life is mirroring to us all around us, and we can forget. We can forget all the blessedness. And so this practice of coming together and looking at the calendar, there's so many things you forget.
Yes.
There's just so many things that, when we do this, I'm like, oh my gosh, I forgot we even did that. That felt like forever ago. And so it's a remembrance and a fill-up.
Yeah, and it reignites you. Like,
It does.
it's not
The
just
beauty.
what you achieved or accomplished, but all
No.
these little moments of life are the ones that really matter most. They're the ones that make you smile or laugh or maybe have, tears of joy or sometimes tears
Grace
of
tears.
some grace tears, like just realizing how far you've come. There's great contrast that comes from that. So we do 4 things. We make a little slideshow, we add music to it, but we do it together, and then we share all the accomplishments. That was number 1, all the more magic moments, and we do it month by month. And then the third thing we do is it's like, what did we learn? If we didn't achieve something, or we did, what did we learn so that we carry that over?
Yes.
And then the final one is, okay, what are we committed to achieving next year? What are
Yes.
our big goals, the big dreams, the big things we're committed to for our family, our friends, our bodies, our emotions? And also we talk about the process of what we're going to let go of, right?
Let go of, because, there has to be space for the new. And so what do you let go of? What lessons through a painful circumstance, or not even painful, just through life, have you recognized it's just no longer serving and bless? I went through it. I learned the lessons, and no more. It's like, and
No
that's
more
the
going
gift
back
of
to
evolution.
it.
Yeah, no more going back to it. And that's the gift of evolution. And so we'll write those lessons, those truths, those understandings, what we're, thanking, blessing, and letting go of. And we'll write it on a piece of paper, and we all actually go put it in the fireplace, which is
Burn.
really, and it's intentional, it's thoughtful,
yeah.
it can be prayerful,
If it
and
gets-
thanking life for the gifts and for the growth.
And any limiting beliefs or any limiting emotions,
Yes.
it's time to let go of. You just do that. So it's just It just kind of locks you in. So the 4 pieces are each month, like what'd you accomplish? What are some magic moments?
Yes.
What'd you learn? And then at the end of all this for the year, what are you really committed to
Mm-hmm.
achieving next year? What are some experiences you're looking forward to sharing together? What are the
Mm.
things you want to let go of? Because I have the privilege in a few months here, and many days here, I'll be 65, which blows my
Yeah.
mind because I was the youngest person in the room. And so hopefully with that
You
comes a little
still
bit
are.
of wisdom. Thank you, sweetheart. But like you start seeing patterns. And if you've been to our seminars, you know that one of the first things I start with is if you want your life to change, you have to see patterns.
Mm.
You're fearful when things look random. We think, oh my God, this is happening to me.
Mm.
But after a while, you see that you don't get angry all the time. You don't overeat all the time. There's certain things that trigger you. You're bored or you're overwhelmed or you're stressed, and you learn how to change those patterns.
Mm.
Well, humanity was changed by understanding a pattern called seasons.
Yes.
We were living in fear all the time because we had to figure out if we were going to survive or not. So we were hunter-gatherers going from place to place until we realized, wow, there's this thing called seasons. That means if we do the right thing at the right time, if we plant in the spring, not the winter, not the summer, not the fall, if we plant it the springtime and we take care of it through the summer all the way through fall, and then reap in the fall and save some for winter, we can stay in one place and have this great life.
Yes.
Well, there's seasons to our lives.
There certainly is
You know?
seasons to our lives, and the seasons bring out different qualities and different life experience and different opportunities for growth. And they usually all have their gift and maybe not blind spot, but opportunity of
Challenges too, both of
Yes,
them.
real.
Yeah.
It's real life,
Yeah.
and you don't know what you don't know until you're in it, and that's the gift of life and its stages and its wisdom.
So think of it just for a second here, and we're almost done, and I'll
Okay.
offer you this little gift to you. Is like, think of 0 to 21 as like springtime. Like, how hard is it to grow in springtime? Everything grows in springtime. It's an optimistic time. At that stage of our life, even if you had to go to work to support your family at 7 or 8 or 9 or 10 years old, someone has to do that. But overall, you're kind of taken care of. If there's a war, you're not going to war. Someone's looking out for you, right? People are feeding you. They're feeding you information. You're in a learning mode. And it's just like a business is easy to grow in the springtime economy, right? When everybody's optimistic, everything grows like crazy. You think you're a genius. It's just springtime. So 0 to 21, and some people, they finish this sooner this season, some a little later, but 0 to 21 is that protected time. 22 to 42 is the summer.
Yes.
And the summer is what tests you. Okay, now it's not so easy. Now it's hot, sticky, and difficult, and like it doesn't look like it's going to work. And that's 22 to 42, and that's where you're the soldier of society. Where literally, if we go to war, 22 to 42 are the people that go to war, to give you an idea. In business, you're now going to go to work. And what happens is, when you're in springtime, you think you're invincible.
Yes.
You think, you're 20 years old, they're 19 years old, 2021. It's like, okay, I'm going to be president of the United States. I'm going to be a multi-billionaire. I'm going to have 100 relationships simultaneously, and everyone's going to be happy. By the time you're 35, you're like, I can't handle on one relationship. What's going on here? I'm not president.
Or, hey, you eat gluten every day and sugar, and somehow it flies.
when you're 21.
Those
when you're
are sweet days.
42, it's a little different,
know.
right? So what I want you to know is, in that season, 22 to 42, that is usually the most stressful season for most people of their life. It's the area where they feel the most unhappy because they're trying to prove themselves to themselves and maybe to other people as well. You're also learning, and there's a lot of learning is painful. Some of it's trial and error. I met you in that season. You were 26 years old, right? And I was 39. But now the next season is the fall. That's the reaping season. So if you worked hard in spring and summer, 43 to 63 is like where all the rewards come. And again, certainly in the middle of that season and towards the end of that is where the rewards really build, meaning you can do more with your fingertip now than working 20 hours a day. You know the right people, you know how things work, you have certain skills, you have insights.
Yes.
What's the difference for you between, let's say, when I met you in, your early summer and now to this point where you're 52? So you're in the middle of that third season, the fall reaping season.
Well, I'm a mother. I
Yes.
became a mother at this stage and season of my life. As well, I just feel like, you go through heaven and hell in this life experience. There's a
Yes.
lot of learned wisdom. So I'd say wisdom at this stage, greater understanding, greater compassion for self and compassion for others,
Yes.
and more discerning, more faithful. If I
Yes.
really think about it. And I think the real gift, if I'm looking, is the chosen family. When I say that, just really established a meaningful relationships in all directions, just really goodness of cultivating that through friendship and through fellowship,
Yes,
differently than even younger at a
for
younger
sure.
age.
And then the final season, 63 to 83, or
Yes.
103, or 120, the oldest living human's 103, the winter time. That is, at that point, your wisdom, hopefully, if you've worked hard in the spring and the summer, you reap in the fall. You don't weep in the fall,
Yes.
right? But if you didn't, and if you didn't take care of your health, then that final season could be difficult. But if you took care of your health and you grew and expanded, I'm in that season now, basically
Yes.
64 to 84, 104, 120, whatever the real number would be. And time is more precious than ever before because the racetrack of life is not unlimited. You finally, there's a stage in all of our lives where one day you realize there may be no more days behind me than ahead of me. And boy, it makes them even more precious. But also, hopefully, you have more wisdom. And that's when you really get to be a leader because you're no longer caring what other people think so much. Like everybody cares to some extent, but it's like you know who you are. You're not trying to prove it to anybody. If they don't understand, it's okay. You're not here for everything and everyone, but you're here to serve because you realize just how precious life is and all the pain that I know that I've ever gone through in my life. It's like my whole life has been, if I can figure out how to solve this, I can help so many other people go through this as well. And at this stage of life, I really experienced that immensely. So every season has challenges. You're now in, that fall season, but we have your parents are
My
now in
mommy and
that.
daddy are in winter.
Yeah, in the later seasons of winter. And so
And
there's predictable challenges
yes.
and opportunities in each of these
And
pieces.
just preciousness. I think in winter, life becomes even that much more pressure. Really, it should be all along. But I think, we're just awake and aware as the chapters or the seasons come later in life.
Yeah, you want to take advantage of every moment. You don't let
Every
everything be
moment.
precious. So I tell you all that because where are you? What season are you in?
Yes.
And how are you going to take advantage of it? And what can you anticipate will happen in that season? What kind of challenges? Like it's obvious 22 to 42, you're going to probably have some cash flow problems, or maybe you have some relationship issues because you're
Yes.
learning, right? Or career issues. If you've really grown 43 to 63, you'll start having less of that, but maybe you have some friends or family that start to pass away that are older. And so you have to deal with that aspect.
Yes.
When you're in the winter season, it's a whole different set of pieces. But there's one other season that really matters that's a shorter term. It's called a year. And here we are, about to enter a new year, 2025. And, there's something about a new year that gives you a chance to have a fresh start. It's totally made up in our heads, but we might as well take use of it because it creates momentum. It's like new year, new life, new opportunity. And so we want to give you a really cool gift. And then when COVID started years ago, and all of a sudden, we're used to doing stadiums full of 15, 20,000 people. All over the earth, they shut down every stadium during COVID. And so we had to figure out how to adapt. And at one point, a lot of people said, well, just pause until this is over. And I said, people are at home and they're suffering. We got to find a way to help them. So we built this studio and we decided to do something. I said, let's help people where they are all over the earth. They're stuck at home. What would keep them from participating is money and a lot of time and a lot of travel. Well, let's eliminate all the above. And so for 4 years in a row, and this will be our last year, we're going to do it now this year one last time, we've done a one-time free event for 3 days. So it's just 3 hours a day, and it's called the Time to Rise Summit. And what we're doing for those 3 days is 3 hours a day. It's like total immersion. It's not some 1 hour little pump up. It's like giving you the skills to say, how are you going to make this year your best year ever? You can't just set some, resolutions. They don't work. They're gone by February 1st, right? So instead, what are we going to do to increase your energy? Because after COVID, people don't realize how much their energy has dropped, so that you have the energy to follow through for the passion in your relationship, for your kids, for your family. What are we going to do to help you really have the most emotionally fulfilling year where you feel a sense of mastery over your life, a mastery over your time, so you don't feel stressed out about it all the time? What are we going to do to help you with your career, your finances? What are you going to do to make your relationship better? And it's basically 3 days. It'll change your life, and it's absolutely free. It's not partially free. And you can attend from your home or your office, and you can bring your family or your friends or your coworkers and attend. So it's coming up January 30th through February 1st. January 30th, 31st, February 1st. And you just go to timetorisesummit.com, timetorisesummit.com.
Yes. And what's so powerful and beautiful about it is we all have this as a human being to navigate the labyrinth of mind, and the power of just connecting, tuning into yourself, blessing your life for those 3 hours a day, for those 3 days, to come together in a group collective of people like this Tony mentioned from all around the world. There's a beauty to it. There's a reflectiveness to it. There's a transformation to it. And it's extraordinary. It's a gift, and we look forward to seeing you there. As Tony mentioned, it's timetorisesummit.com, and it's January 30th through February 2nd.
Oh, February 1st.
Oh my word, what am I saying? Don't listen to me, listen
Just
to
3
him.
days. But I will tell you, it's an experience we're so proud of, because people have come out. I can tell you story after story. A guy that was over 700 pounds, couldn't out of bed and watched us, been in bed for 6 years, watched us on the screen, on a computer there, attended the whole thing, and then got himself eventually out of bed, lost over 200 pounds, completely 250 pounds, and I think it changed his life. A woman, you become part of a community.
A community,
because the first year we did, we had 300,000 people. Next year, 800,000. Last year, we had 1.1 million people from every country that the UN recognizes. 193 countries in the world participated. And then you're part of that community. And the only investment you make is each night I ask you to do a little assignment and then post it. And so you get to have all these people from all over the earth who are behind you and helping you to achieve what you want to achieve for your life, as opposed to let's just set some goals. So if that appeals to you, come join us. Again, go to timetorisesummit.com. We'll see you January 30th, 31st, and February 1st. And please take some time and capture your achievements, your magic moments, the pictures, the music of your life, because we save those. And then we can see them now for almost a decade and a half of reliving your life. If life's worth living, it's worth recording and capturing. And it's also worth setting up this year to make it a real victory. So we look forward to serving you. We hope you have a magical holiday, and Happy New Year.
Happy